good? It's your boy Wayne Brettzsky, back for the first time with our first episode of Water for Power. Yes, it's 2021. I just feel like it's time that I go ahead and just say what's on my mind and channel my thoughts and into the universe and see what comes back, Definitely have a lot on my mind, just in general, living my head type of person. But I'm just gonna hop straight to it with information, not too much introduction. So it's 2021 and a good thing to add to your arsenal, going into 2021, a good motto, a good credo, a good mantra, so to speak, or just going into 2021. This is for my empaths, and if you don't know what an empath is, or if you don't know if you are an empath, basically an empath is someone that's very, very, very sensitive when it comes to picking up others' energies, others' thoughts, others' emotions. It's something that's a gift and a curse, so to speak, quote unquote. Something you have to manage for sure. It's something that a lot of people struggle with. And I feel like over the years I have learned to identify and know when my empath, energy is my antennas is really getting, how to deal with it, how to deal when my antennas go off, and knowing who's speaking, is it my thoughts or is it someone else's, and how to work through situations that, that you ever had any situations where you second guess yourself, so it's just about I think one of the main hurdles as an empath or empathic person has to go through in their maturation process is really trusting their inner voice. Trusting your inner voice, because it can get convoluted in other people's voice, or that inner voice or that inner thought can get very swayed by others' energy if you don't have any defense, well thought out defense mechanisms, not just reflex, not just a reaction without any thought into it. I think it's important to really get detailed and pinpoint some triggers that really set off an empath, or ways to really know how if you're getting manipulated or not in any situation. And I'm going to demonstrate this by going over this book. It's called Dark Psychology. Let's see, I have to get the name of the author for you. I'm sorry, I didn't even get the name of the author. That's disrespectful. But I will definitely put a link into the bio below and give shout out to the author that kind of inspired me to do this, organize this episode in a way. And it's a pretty good book. I didn't finish it. I'll be honest. I finished like maybe 3/4 of it, but I feel like I got the gist of how I would interpret what he's saying, and I can respect. It's more of a psychology book on left brain, more explaining things in a more facts-based, or a more psychological, how a therapist would classify things, and I'm gonna flip that into my interpretation of it as well. So dark psychology, and basically the book is based around what are considered dark traits in human personality, in the spectrum of the human personality, and they classify things, these 4 dark traits in the human personality, where they would consider a dark or bad personality trait in someone. And and before I go over these, just disclaimer, don't don't leave your husband, don't leave your wife tomorrow, don't cut off people just on a whim because they might exude some of these traits, because we all, this inner darkness is in us, in everybody. So but it's definitely something good to recognize and know when to recognize when people are saying things under the table or behind the scenes, or not with actual words, and know how to interpret that, especially as an empath. So and just as far as while we're on the subject of darkness and getting comfortable talking about some of these things, and it's not super dark in the sense of anything considered spooky or nothing, but one thing I noticed just in the media just last 5, 6, 7, 8 years maybe, different from when I was coming up, and I think the dark traits are in the media. I want to think what y'all think about that, like just especially people with kids, and where it's like it's mainstream somewhat, it seems. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I definitely pay attention to social trends and clothing and just mainly through hip hop. That's kind of my news source, but I've noticed a lot of what would be considered devilish, or things, or just looking at making yourself comfortable with looking at things from that other point of view. For instance, like you got shows like Lucifer, and you got even Disney programs like what's the one with Angela Jolie? She's the Wicked Witch. You know what I'm saying? When I was growing up, it was always she was just always as the bad guy, but they got movies focusing around the quote unquote evil person and showing the bad guy perspective, or humanizing it on a level where you accept that person as as someone that is worthy of redemption. So you just got a lot of shows and a lot of movies, just where it's just kind of mainstream. It's not as taboo. So that's very, very interesting. And yeah, we're gonna get into detail. But that's another conversation about just all the symbolism in the media. But just to buffer my point of what I'm about to get into, so it's 4 personality traits that are considered dark personality traits, or where they classify you as having this particular trait. You have this particular trait where it's a negative trait, and they classify in, I guess, just general psychology. I don't know. I'm not the biggest person on. I love just psychology naturally, but as far as school goes, it was I didn't like how structured it was. When I took my classes, it was interesting, but it just wasn't for me personally. I don't like having to write in a specific format and write how you tell me to write to a T, which I do believe it brings some good structure, but I'm just don't like to be structured and or at least to somebody else's structure, a standard structure when it comes to something creative like that. So I never did finish up that psychology career path, but definitely respect the field. And I decided to go on a route of looking things like that through not a clinical path, but more of a spiritual path. So all these things are, in my opinion, you can, you can work on. You can heal yourself from. It's not like, hey, you're a narcissist and that's who you are forever, and you need to be taking these pills, or you bipolar or something. You need to be on medication. I feel like, it can, it's something that you can heal yourself from, and not have to label yourself any type of way, because all this energy is in us. You just have to make sure you vibrating at a high level where you're not exuding that type of energy, and where you're vibrating on that level and manifesting just a negative life path, and so yeah, no, without further ado, so the four dark personality types is narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and sadism. Okay? Narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and sadism. All right? So, let's dive into the first one, narcissism. So, narcissism. Definition, loose definition, charming. Well, these are people that are, the word narcissist comes from the Greek mythological figure Narcissus, and basically he was a deity that was very beautiful and very magnetic, and very to the point where he was in love. He was a lover boy, and he was in love with himself. I think everybody knows what a narcissist is on some level. So somebody's just super self-absorbed, but the way they really steer the selfishness and self-absorbed personality is more towards, say, someone that's physically superior, like in their mind, and how they portray themselves. But I can see it as someone that feel like they're intellectually superior as well. So it can be either or. I think it's a narcissist can be that prototypical, very beautiful or handsome or super athletic, or whatever energy along those lines on the physical side of things that boost their ego to a point, where they're so aware of their attractive energy, and it just creates a a mindset, so that's what I think of narcissism. But I definitely could see it through the other. I feel like I've met narcissists that are more, I guess, your prototypical, I feel like they're intellectually superior just for no reason, So I feel like between those two. So let's talk about the physical narcissist. So the person that's, the manipulation technique of a narcissist, where everybody has had someone in their life where they could just been in their prime, or they're just really that attractive of a person, or for women maybe the guy was just built, just the right way. They like him, and everybody saw that out. They were just on the elite level on the as far as garnering attention for how they look, and yeah, I mean, I feel like with that one, it's definitely a negative trait. I feel like, do you need a level of narcissism focusing on yourself to accomplish certain goals? I think you do in this capitalistic society we live in, as Americans, or coming from what I've seen growing up and what it takes to provide. I feel like we starting out small. Narcissism is definitely not a trait you would want to have in a partner, like a life partner, because they just really gonna they don't really have empathy. So this would be like the opposite of an empath, not aware of anybody else's energy, or if they are, it's it's a bad word. It's a bad word. Nobody wants to. It's like we admire the society. Admires narcissists and the mentality, just from the mentality, the what people portray in Hollywood and rappers, and they portray, kind of glorify that type of energy, but nobody wants to deal with it on a one-on-one basis, somebody you deal with on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, they tend to have very high self-esteem, very charming, very, very beautiful people a lot of times. Whatever helps them create that ego, that false projection of themselves, inflated projection of themselves. So yeah, it's a bad trait to have on an extreme level. Hey, I guess it would manifest as, I'm not gonna call any names. I'm not gonna name any celebrities. That's not what I'm here to do, to give you an example. But I'm sure you can think of a narcissist. That's an easy one. That's an easy one. And before I move on, just, I guess one of the main points I wanted to prove about, the main thing you can see a trait in a narcissist, it's that person that is well aware of their value a lot of times. Like in the case of the beautiful narcissist, where the name come from, they know beauty is currency, so to speak, and yeah, and they're invested in their physical domain as much as a stockbroker would be invested in his portfolios. So it's like they don't have any time to consider others. They're so self-absorbed. So and hey, I wish narcissists the best. I feel like at times I've exuded that, or we all exude that, but I think those are the people like where, yeah, at their funeral, nobody shows up. I feel like all these people, but for sure, I don't really feel like I know any like super old narcissists too. I feel like if you live a long time, you kind of just grow out of the, I don't know, maybe that's just me, it's just my experience. I don't know, I don't feel like I don't know any narcissists over, like, over 40, 45, or 50. Like, I feel like that's kind of a young thing. It's kind of a synonymous with the naive teenager a lot of times, or person in their 20s, or well, I guess when you're grown, it may turn into the money, that can make you narcissistic in your ways. But money, like we just said, is beauty is a currency, and money is currency. So it's very it's a very real parallel universe when it comes to beauty and currency, which is connected to the main thing, two things that's connected to narcissism in my head. So I would just say to people that have narcissistic, people in their lives, because that's what we're really talking about today. People you work with, your family, friends, associates, people you got to interact with. This is how you got to protect your energy, because these are people you got to deal with and manage. So just know how to handle narcissists. How I would handle it. How do I handle narcissists? I feel like once I recognize this person as a narcissist, honestly, I kind of tune out. Like, I'm not the type of person to really entertain. I'll just detach. Once I don't see that back and forth, really good exchange of energy, ideas, of love, or I'm pretty much out. I don't share too much of my mind with those type of people. But if you want to practice some manipulation back, then you definitely get those people to talk about themselves more. Get them to spill incriminating evidence. But I wouldn't recommend that. But hey, if you're the type to have some fun with situations like that, hey, I'm sure you can use it for your good, especially if it's someone that's over you in a situation. Maybe you're competing with this person, then I would recommend you play some chess and feed their ego. You can play dumb a little bit, and it's either it's only gonna go two ways. Either you're gonna be if this is a person, say this is a person you gotta work with, and say this is a person that happened to be a boss of you, you know what I'm saying, in some form of way. It's only gonna go two ways. Either you're gonna be, well, maybe three, but I feel like you're gonna teeter-totter in between the two. You're gonna be a fanboy or a fangirl, or but ass kisser, or exhibit those type of qualities around this person, or you're gonna be, just rebel and be that person's opposition or adversary in their eyes. So, I kindly take the adversary route myself most of the time, and I feel like, this type of person is, on a bright note, this type of person is good for on a competitive level, because they usually do have a high value, something about them, and a lot of times, even if it's just confidence in itself, if they don't have any other reason. But, I would take it as a competitive thing to step your game up, especially if you're in a competitive environment with this person. And yeah, you can use their own ego against them, and while you sit back and make things happen and be quiet and come up and have whatever projects you're working on, just take everybody out by surprise, So you gotta balance that energy out when you're around it. But hey, narcissists, keep them at arm's length. All right. So number two, dark trait number two, Machiavellianism. So this is where, of course, everyone's favorite rapper, Tupac, for the most part, has took on the moniker Machiavelli. So, what is Machiavellianism? So I'm gonna actually have to read a definition for this one, but these people have no sense of right or wrong outside of their own agendas. Just reading some notes. They're very manipulative when it comes to more success. Like these people, it sounds like they'll be pretty cutthroat on their path to success. They're emotionally detached, and they are in tune with their emotions, yet they detach from them. I think some of these definitions can kind of blur, but let's read some famous quotes, and I'm gonna weigh in on this one, Machiavellianism. So I don't know. You got the research. I forgot. I know Machiavelli was a prince. He ruled somewhere in Europe for an extended amount of time. Do your own history lesson on who Machiavelli is. But some of his famous quotes: politics has no relation to morals. It's better to be feared than loved if you cannot have both. Let me say that again. It's better to be feared than loved if you cannot have both. Nothing great was ever achieved without danger. Me who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Okay, so let's break this down. So, to me, Machiavellianism, I could see why somebody like Pac would use this as a moniker. Like, to me, it just sounds like at the core, what people would consider alpha male mentality would have. It's kind of like embracing that inner, I ain't finna back down. I'm gonna be stubborn and I can't be nice, as a man, that's how I feel. It's like channeling some raw, manly type of energy at its root, in a positive way. I think the positive aspect of Machiavellianism is that, you just putting all emotions aside and doing what you need to do to accomplish a task. But when you have it as on an extreme case of it, I think I can see where it's very, very toxic. I guess this is maybe toxic masculinity and ism, really. That's probably what it is when I think of what's considered a toxic masculine energy. So basically my thoughts is, I think of, what I notice around my men, friends and associates at times, and in family, whoever, just men in general. It's a lack of, men are competitive by nature, It's definitely some natural competitiveness to us that you just gotta respect. But it shouldn't be it needs to be balanced. It shouldn't be to the point where everything's a competition or it's no brotherhood. Everything's cutthroat. It's no collaborating on ideas or no type of, yeah, I think that's the perfect word, collaborating, no cooperation. So women are very better at that idea of collaborating. So you leave it up to men, it'll definitely be more warlike mentality over resources and anything. So I think the whole mentality where you want to glorify it and just say you just the most cold-hearted dude, or that's cool. I get it. I'm not I can be very non-emotionally outward myself because I know how to put on that poker face and definitely know how to move around swim in a pool full of sharks, or whatever the sayings go, where you do gotta definitely kind of masquerade and walk on eggshells and or have other people walk on eggshells around you to get your goal accomplished and be the dominant person and not just go with the flow. So I like that, where it's not go with the flow, but that doesn't mean you don't work with other people and get their knowledge and share and exchange that knowledge, because it's a very misleading mentality. I feel it's just like a rap. It's just like a popular rap song. If you a kid, you thinking money, cash, hoes, or is the formula to every rap song, and this is the life, and money over bitches, and whatever, all the sayings that just glorify portraying you as this alpha dog. I can be totally isolated and live a prosperous life because I've worked hard to be a boss and control every aspect of it, and use my power to control others that are not on my status or financial and not on my level of power. So yeah, these are power hungry people. That's the narcissist is more just it's more of I just feel like, hey, just on a very vain level. A lot of times a narcissist is just is out to be dominant and want to control things, but a Machiavellian is you'll definitely see this person in the workplace. You'll definitely see this person in the workplace for sure, because these are probably the people that get ahead. Yeah, I noticed that working in corporate America, 9 times out of 10, the people that get up to the top, from what I've seen, they did some shady, some shadiness to get there a lot of times, and that seems to be where the energy of certain sayings like nice guys finish last, or it's that type of energy, yeah. But you're not, the Machiavellian is not the nice guy. He's the other guy winning, and yeah. So it is what it is. But if just recognize that if you're really kind, super empathic, just naturally, nurturing person, then you gotta recognize these type of people. You gotta protect yourself, because this will be the main person that'll use you. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna spot that the Machiavellianist is gonna spot. Like, that's the difference. The narcissist not really gonna care too much about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Period. But the Machiavellianist is he's gonna use you on the way to accomplish his goals, whether that's throwing dirt on your name to make you look bad, and letting you expose your vulnerable self, to sabotage you, just whatever it takes to be the king of the jungle, So, but it's definitely a skill that I'm not gonna say you need it in this Western paradigm for sure. You would need it, because I feel like we pretty cutthroat on a economic level in most countries. So, but yeah, I feel like we may be a very Machiavellianist type of country as far as the mentality. So that's deep. That's really deep, with the whole Tupac reference, and then and what I see as a mentality in hip hop. Yeah, it's very Machiavellianistic. So I feel like I broke down Machiavellianism, and like I said, you can see these traits in a narcissist too, but this is how they classify it. So for my empaths out there, this type of person, it'll be good to interact with this person. You can really play the game with this person when you recognize they're self-absorbed from I'm not gonna let you ever help you out, to the point where you can threaten my power, my status, or whatever. You can really work with this one. And you just gotta be I would say mentally sharp, and yeah, just kind of use reverse psychology. Like, just act, if you're not that type of person, and you don't want to fake it. I mean, well, I guess you can try to, you can think like that person, put yourself in that person's shoes, but not have the same intentions. So that's how I would word it. You can exhibit the same behavior towards that person to counteract the vibes they're giving you when they try to manipulate you, and really play chess. Yeah, this is chess playing with them, because this is gonna be that person. This may be your main competition in life, and we have to embrace that. We have to embrace your adversary. Everything's kumbaya and peaceful, and I'm definitely on my Zen life for sure. But we have to embrace and look at different people that are adversaries for a reason, and use that in our own hero's journey. So that's how we look at it. Embrace that. Embrace that. It's always better when you have a number one contender, in your way, obstacle in your way. It's always better when you got a rival, just even in sports. Or it's boring. It's boring when you just someone's so dominant. It's not even fun no more. So embrace someone that's, I would say, embrace someone that's as intellectually has an intellectual and emotional depth, maybe just as much or more than you, but use it in a totally backwards, low vibrational way. You're counteracting that same, demonism they have with your angel isms on the other end of the spectrum. All right. So next one, psychopath, psychopathy. So let's break down psycho. So psycho, anything, psychology. It seems like a scary word. I don't know, like when they say somebody's a psychopath, like you automatically think of some serial killer, axe murderer or something. But a psychopath, it's just a more aggressive form of narcissism to me. Like, I feel like narcissism is a very feminine type of energy where, they want to be worshipped and everything to come towards them and be handed things and be pampered. But psychopaths are more outward with their wanting to be worshipped. It's more aggressive. It's more of a social domination. So yeah, this is the person that's, it may be your homeboy. It may be, it most likely is your homeboy or your homegirl, honestly. Like, it may be a brother or sibling rivalry, who knows? But these type of characteristics are exuded of, it's that person that maybe, just whenever you're around a group of people, just has to just point out every flaw that you have, or seemingly, or just say something that's very penetrating. These are people that can probably push your buttons a lot, and even turn a room against you. If they're really, they're usually really good at it. They could persuade other people not to like you. These are like socially dominant controllers, like, and these are definitely a lot of successful psychopaths that you'll see just in the world, especially if you come from a more of a corporate setting or just any business. You see a lot of these type of people that they're another word, pathological. These are it's beyond making a conscious decision. It's like when you get to this level, you have like pathological liars, and it's something deep. It's something deep rooted. A deep-rooted insecurity to really be accepted. Yeah, these are the very, this would be that very successful person that's just hate themselves, just maybe has some type of traumatic things growing up where they may not have been hugged enough. They may not have a lot of nurturing. So it's deep. So it's like, we can't judge people, too much, because you don't know. All you can do is manage when they bring the energy your way. You know what I'm saying? That's really all you can do. But you don't know why this person might be like that. But if you have someone that notice they like to start, these are instigators. This person might, if this person likes your girl or your man, yeah, the psychopath may, hey, may start some shit. Tell you straight up, they may do, if they like it, they may go after it eventually, especially if you're around them a lot, these people might plant the seeds to get what they want. And it's usually revolving, being controlling what social atmosphere they in. So this is, yeah, this is like this is bona fide haters, bona fide definitely got hate in their heart, and these are people that really need help. The Machiavellianness and I'm immune to the Machiavellianness and the narcissist. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, you keep them at arm's length and you gotta deal with it. But the psychopath, yeah. Yeah, it's trying to think of more to say about them. It's they definitely seek thrills at your expense a lot of times. So yeah, this would be the person that may try to embarrass you. So you definitely just stay on the defense around psychopaths. This person you have to shut off. You have to cut them off. You know, this is the person that if it's, you know, I hate to say it, yeah, you have to cut them. You know, it may be somebody really close to you, but you may have to cut them off for a while until they get it together, or from a distance. You know, it's just toxicity on a grand level. You know, and they've accepted it. You know. And don't let the psychopath get the power that they're seeking, because yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. Psychopath. So, but you'll see a lot of psychopaths. I know I've seen a few. I feel like I had a few acquaintances that exhibit that energy, but luckily, I feel like I naturally know when to move around. But yeah, we'll move on. We got some more stuff to go over after this. But psychopath, I would just say, in closing, it's the masculine energy version of a narcissist. Less about just attracting and being adored and being magnetic and wanting to be worshipped and more, having a God complex type of energy. Psychopath is more, it's just like a little kid, a little grown kid, needs a lot of attention. Probably didn't have a lot of love in the home or nurturing or any type of a good sense of instilled self-security, and it just manifested as a grown-up, and they may not ever grow out of it. They may grow out of it and or get killed in the process. Who knows? But yeah, if you see somebody that's trying to one up you, they always trying to one up you or just act totally different in a social setting and just have to dominate the attention, in the room, and a lot of times the energy is directed at you as far as who they're competing with. Yeah, it's probably a psychopath. All right, let's get to the fourth dark personality trait, which is sadism. A sadist. So these are people that enjoy cruelty. These are people that would, in today's age, you would define as a troll. This is troll energy. These are people that enjoy just just, you know, disturbing people's harmony. Just, we all, it could have been, you know, it could have just been the class clown in the classroom when we was kids, making the teacher cry. And then it manifests on a bully. It could be the bully, that's definitely, don't mind, it's amusing to hurt them. So you gotta catch these people, these type of characteristics trait early and correct it, because when you have a sadist person with sadist energy or like mentality, they're gonna grow up and they may gravitate to, the best field of career for sadists, I guess they tend to go to professions where they can hurt people and get away with it. So these would be your police officers and people that may be in the military. So I guess that's good use of the energy for sure. But you definitely, that's the idea of in my head as a sadist. This is the crooked, all the stories about corrupt officers, getting out of line and abusing their power, and yeah, the cowardly cop in a badge that's a bad crooked cop. That's my picture of a sadist, along with the troll. In 2021, the troll, just the classic troll, somebody that'll just, just leave some crazy comments just to trigger you and just be amused by it. Yeah, I think the Joker, that may be another. Not that I'm into Batman like that, but that's in my head. That's the energy, or that's the archetype, somewhat of a sadist. So, yeah, and this is, you just avoid these people all around. You're gonna have to have some encounters with them, but luckily I feel like I've avoided this type of energy. And another idea, it's I had in my head, I just remembered, it may be somebody like, you ever had anybody in your life that's really, just attracted to violence in a way where it's just, it's very self-destructive. I would definitely attach the violent more energy to sadism. It's definitely a attack. This is, and it's not covert. It's not underhanded like a psychopath or a Machiavellianist would do, where they manipulate kind of behind the scenes. The sadist is that bully, is that troll that's really out to just hate on you, just get you down, and just, they can't seem to generate, they're not aligned with that love vibration at all. So heart chakra totally closed. These people, heart chakra is totally closed off, and they don't know how to receive love, so it just manifests in bringing people down to their energy. So definitely, these are the ones that really come after you. These are the people that's gonna be, these are people that'll make you, get you out of your own character for sure. Them, and I say the psychopaths too, because psychopaths are more, will do it just to mess with you in front of people. I know that's one of my things. Don't be trying to embarrass me, you know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to make me look bad and trying to, assassinate my character, but I think to say this is pretty rare though. I think most people won't take it to that level, but everybody may have a little bit in them, you know, that they won't never admit. You know, somebody that secretly wouldn't mind if, hey, if something happened to you, you know, if you got hurt, you know, they may have those type of thoughts. So, but I think that's a pretty good rundown of the 4 different dark personality traits. And let's just talk about a few more things that you can recognize, a few more terms and things that manipulation techniques that these beings that exude this dark energy, what they do. And so another technique is gaslighting. So be very aware of this one. Be very aware of gaslighting. These are, a gaslighter is by definition a person that is persistent about blatant denial of obvious facts. This is a gaslighter is someone that'll literally do something in your face, disrespect you, flirt with your wife, flirt with your husband, you know, like that's just one of the first examples that popped in my head, and they may like act like nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, it's so many different scenarios where I'm sure where you know something happened, you know, but you have someone so persistent that it didn't happen that way when it's so obvious that they lying. You know what I'm saying? Or they full of shit. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. It's just so obvious. And this is an excellent manipulation tactic, you know, and people have just really convinced themselves in their head that they'll justify somewhere in their head. People that gaslight will justify a lie and make it make sense to them. So this is dangerous. So if you have a person that cannot have the humility to ever say, you know, apologize or rationalize their own thoughts and be just have the authenticity, you know, this gaslighters, yeah, that's a heavy one. So you see that a lot in all the traits or the dark personalities, I feel like. But yeah, gaslighting. So what I would say is, like I was saying earlier, just getting in tune with your own voice, your own inner voice. If you just seen, you know, your cousin Ray, you know, he did something disrespectful at Thanksgiving and said something inappropriate or made an inappropriate gesture at your wife, something like that, and act like it was nothing, but just because that's your cousin Ray, that's your cousin Bookie, you know, and it's all love. He wouldn't do nothing. It's just me, cousin Ray, you know. He wouldn't do nothing disrespectful like that. But then again, you just seen him do the shit. You just literally saw it. Your mind not playing tricks on you. So in 2021, all that type of energy, don't buy into it. Stand firm on your own intuition. You know, if you feel like somebody's lying to you and it don't make sense, and especially after you don't even really have to do that, but after you try to be rational and then about and confront someone about a disrespectful encounter or something that you felt that was disrespectful, and you know, if it, 9 times out of 10, if it made you feel some type of way, like really shook you up spiritually, like it rocked you a little bit, it's not an illusion most of the time. So definitely just trust yourself more, and that's I feel like when I did that more, it's just helped me maneuver around a lot better in life, and also just accept people for who they are, stop having all these expectations. So yeah, definitely, and I think, in my estimation, things would go a lot smoother if they just accept, when they do something foul. We all have done something rude or impulsive that was wrong, but it's the ones that use it as a manipulation tactic and don't have any type of a moral type of compass or sense of morality. That's dangerous, man. You don't want to waste your life giving your energy to people like that. You'll definitely be drained. That's the energy vampires for sure. But yeah, gaslighting, definitely trust in your inner voice. If you feel that person's lying, and you have to confront them about something, hey, you just gotta draw a line in the sand and be like, okay, I hear you, but I'm not stupid. I know I felt something, and I'm not gonna just allow an empty apology or empty I'm your this or I'm your that, I'm your brother, sister, uncle, cousin, mama, daddy, whatever, husband, wife, to I'm not gonna accept that, I'm not gonna accept that just because that title is there. Feel me? And yeah, that is gaslighting. So that's a deep one. Definitely. If you have any gaslighters, start practicing that defense. And because when you switch up the energy, it's gonna be hard. I'm just letting you know it's gonna be hard. They're gonna be like, why you acting different, and they're gonna try to bring the negative energy to you, that they brought to you, that they exuded in the first place. So when you just not totally 100% acceptive of their side of things, if you really feel like it's nonsense or it's contrary to obvious facts that you can point it out, yeah, they're definitely gonna lash out and try to say that you changed, or how you're not gonna accept my explanation of things. And yeah, I feel like if you feel good, you should just stand firm and agree to disagree on some things and not go back and forth on stuff that that ain't right. It's not right. Don't go back and forth. Just accept that they can't express their own faults. we should all be able to do that. Just say it. I fucked up. I lied. you know, and why you lied, and it'll always be a better outcome, and it's better for your spirit when you manifesting and saying things that's not true. It definitely closes up your throat chakra and your heart chakra, just to name a few. But I think definitely lying, those two things, those two chakras affect the most. The heart chakra and your throat chakra. So, and yeah, you want to just be vibrating as high as possible. So, and as a person that's the victim of this energy, you don't want to get trapped in anybody else's webs as well, you know. So, and also, other than gaslighting, another tactic or projection. So this is the classic. Projection is the classic. It's what's called a transfer of emotions. So this is the classic when somebody's suspicious, or it's when the girl or the dude is actually cheating, but the they start going through the other person's phone and doing investigating because they acting so normal and natural, but they the ones that's actually cheating and or doing something behind the back of the other person. So that's just a classic sign that that's just a classic sign that somebody is toxic, around you. So you just gotta have your own strength to keep in mind, hey, it's a reason for that. Why is this person acting all suspicious and paranoid and coming at me on some like you being sneaky or interested in other people when you know in your heart you haven't exuded any of that energy. You haven't put any of that out into their psyche. You haven't said anything. You don't give off flirty energy to others. You're very conscientious about respecting that person's feelings, and then they coming at you with suspicion and doubt. Then yeah, you just have to really recognize that and really question and what's really going on. Something's up. So that's kind of a classic one. Everybody knows that, but now you can categorize it as something that you can add to stand firm on when you see it. When you see that type of energy, like, hey, I'm an empath. I have powers. My intuition is not to be failed. It's not gonna fail me. It's stronger than the facade you putting on right now, and it doesn't mean I hate you or I'm just telling it like it is. You just being fake right now. You're just not keeping it real. And I'm on a totally different level in life right now where I don't have to be fake. I can totally explain every emotion and negative or positive how I feel about something, so I don't have to project some type of facade onto you. Okay. All right. So moving on. Next one, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Okay. So divide and conquer. We all heard of this term. It's the manipulation tactics of more than one party for personal gain. So you definitely see this in the psychopath examples that I gave, and the Machiavelli it's the examples I gave. So yeah, this is a real live chess player right here, and yeah, I mean, yeah, these are people that can, you know, just we already, can break up a family or whatever the case may be, break up a good thing um, for selfish gain. So these are pretty easy to spot, I think, for me. But you have to catch it early, and if you see a lot of psychopathic traits and too Machiavellian this type of traits in someone, like let's say you're forming a business and you see these type of traits where you just sense a lot of jealousy, a lot of disharmony. Let's say you got a group of 4 or 5 people, and maybe 1 or 2 members, or one person that's just exuding a lot of discomfort with their position in the social group. They may feel like they're not as, I don't know. It could be any reason. But divide and conquer. It could be any reason. I can't. It's hard for me to even get into the mentality of someone that wants to divide and conquer. It's just because that's not how I would approach trying to even fathom dominating a social circle or accomplishing a goal. So, but definitely beware of you can't have no you can't have no too many strangers or around people, in your camp, any people that just give a lot of bad energy in your camp. So but yeah, now that I think about it, I definitely feel like I had met someone that a few, I got a lot of stories from work. Yeah, that's where you really see. I think this lecture is gonna be most helpful at work, man. Cause yeah, you'll be surprised what people do to get ahead. That's when you really see someone's competitive or darker nature, because a lot of people that you work with, they in competition with you. They trying to get the bag, and you're gonna see a lot of their ugly sides. So definitely. Then next, you got positive reinforcement. So these positive reinforcements, people that use this with women the most, you have to, men too, but women the most have to look out for this. If you susceptible to compliments, then you gotta work on your defense because compliment can be dangerous. That's when when someone goes out of their way to compliment you, it's just hey, it's a red flag. It just is like, it's just when it shows like a sense of desperation. It has to be genuine, So that's what makes it dangerous, because it's a thin line between a very genuine compliment and like when somebody just said it without any forethought or intention of, before I give you the compliment, what was their agenda to give you the compliment, and invade your kind of your space, your and it's a thin line between that and someone that's trying to get a outcome from you, from giving you that compliment. So I feel like it's gonna go either way. I feel like women know this, whether they're bad about it or not, but definitely we know this energy. But it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, then you have the silent treatment. Silent treatment. Okay, so this was controversial. I don't know. I feel like if you doing it as a game, like silent treatment, if you know you don't have any intentions of leaving this person, or you just know you got this person in such a emotional attachment to you, and you can kind of torture them a little bit with your silence, then I can see how that's wrong or considered a dark trait. But I would say sometimes myself, I just would maybe need to be alone, or times where I felt like I need to be alone. It wasn't like I needed to, I didn't think of it as like, hey, I mean, I didn't even think of my presence as not being around gonna make somebody feel bad about themselves. So that was the last thing in my mind. But I think, when you aware of how other people, their attachment to you, and you care about that person, then silent treatment can be bad. But if you explain to that person that, hey, I'm not trying to ignore you, but it's just like, maybe I'm just so angry, I don't want to say nothing else right now, and it's just gonna escalate. Or I want to be in a good place when we have this conversation. I'm not trying to avoid you. I'm not trying to ignore you, but I'm so angry right now. If we talk, if we converse, I'm just gonna be on some more negative stuff. I need to sleep on it. I need to get to a even place where I'm not as emotional or in my feelings. I'm not as emotionally charged before having this conversation. So yeah, that's my thought on the silent treatment, man. So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up how to identify toxicity, how to identify toxic traits for my empaths out there. And I'm out. I think I'm out, y'all. Till next time. Peace.